and welcome to my solo Bandos guide. This guide is specifically for lower level players. With that in mind, these are the requirements I would say you need. You obviously need 70 plus strength to get into the Bandos area. I would recommend at least 80 plus combat stats to realistically be able to solo General Gurdor. You also need 68 plus summoning for a War Tortoise, 70 plus prayer for piety, decent gear, and supplies. I also highly recommend some experience at Bandos. I am assuming throughout this guide that you do have some experience, because soloing a boss like this for the first time can be quite difficult, so if you have a little bit of experience in a team, it can make the trip a lot easier. Just a note here, do not forget a Zamorak item, preferably a Zamorak arrow. I go over this at the end of the gear setup section, but I forgot it in the first part of the gear setup section, so just a reminder. For the gear, I highly recommend a Vrak helm, Carol top, Vrak skirt, and a chaotic or a whip. The reason I recommend a chaotic or a whip is because you get to have a shield with chaotic or a whip that you would not get with a god sword. For the shield, obviously the best shields are a divine and Elysian spirit shield. After that probably would be a spectral spirit shield, and after that would be a dragon fire shield. I do not recommend a Netznut helm, just because Vrak helm has much higher defensive bonuses. If you do not have a Carol's top, you can go with a Dragonhide top. Mainly you're focusing for the mage defense, just the Carol's top is a little bit better for that. Another option for the Vrak skirt are Bandos tassets. After that, you want preferably a fire cape. If you find you run out of prayer first, you might want to switch to a Soul Wars cape. Amulet of Fury, Amulet of Glory also works. Obviously the best gloves in the game. Dragon boots, once again, best boots available for this kind of thing. And then I have a Berserker ring imbued. Other options include an Onyx ring imbued, Dragonstone ring imbued, a normal Berserker ring, Warrior ring imbued or unimbued. However, the Warrior ring only works with the chaotic longsword and a whip. That's because the Warrior ring gives a slash bonus, and with a rapier you want to be using the stab option, so Warrior ring would not be very helpful there. Also, I should mention that you need a Bandos item. I do not have one because my plan here is to take a dip in the pools at Uglag, which acts as a Bandos item for 1 hour, which is plenty of time to get your kill count. If you cannot do that, then some other options are Bandos boots. Obviously Bandos tassets work very well. Or if you're not going to wear Carol's top, then wearing a Bandos Dragonhide body works as well. For your inventory, this is the first of 2 inventory setups. Obviously, Dragon Claws are the best special weapon. However, if you do not want to use Dragon Claws, then a possible alternative would be the Dragon Halberd. However, Dragon Claws are far better. I have Trollheim teleport tablets. If you do not have these, then you need 2 laws and 2 fires. And if you're going to go with that method, you might want to use the drop method by bringing 4 of each, teleporting to Trollheim, dropping 2 items, teleporting back to Edgeville, getting 2 more from the bank, and then teleporting back. I bring 2 overloads in this setup. It depends on how long you want to last on the trip. 1 to 2 overloads last for me. High level players might want to bring more. You obviously want a hammer. Do not forget this. You will be sad if you do. You want a healing familiar. I have a Titan. Unicorn's obviously better. If you don't have a Titan, then you might want to go with like a fruit bat or something like that. Usually an extra beast of burden pouch. These rocktails are just in case I get hit very high, so I can rocktail and brew. Those are pretty much completely optional. And then I have 10 super restores, 8 Ceradomin brews, and then I have my War Tortoise filled with Ceradomin brews. For your first few trips, I highly recommend that you go with a approximately 3-to-1 brew to restore ratio. Once you get a little bit more used to it, you can adjust and figure out a ratio that works more perfectly for you. Okay, for the second inventory, once again, you want Dragon Claws, or if you can't have Dragon Claws, then possibly a Dragon Halberd. Same thing for the Trollheim Teleport as the first setup. Obviously the hammer. You do want a Healing Familiar. Obviously, once again, Unicorn's better, but Fire Titan works as well. The setup's not using overloads. I have extremes, but if you don't have extremes, you can also use supers. And I have 5 Purr Potions, and then I have Rocktails in my inventory and in my Beast of Burden. You generally want to bring about this many Purr Pots. It's better to bring a few extra Purr Pots than run out and still have Rocktails left. You really only go through less than 1 per kill, so only 3 or 4 probably would do it, but depending on your level, 2 Rocktails might not really make a difference on how long you last, so it's not really a big deal to bring a few extra Prayer Potions. One thing I forgot to mention is you also want a Zamorak Arrow. This is because you do need a Zamorak item, and Zamorak Arrow is only about 600 GP or so last time I checked, and it's really cheap. You don't really need it for anything, and it just sits there, so it works the same as any other Zamorak item, so you might as well just bring 1 Zamorak Arrow. For getting the kill count, I highly recommend the area in red. In the northern part of this area, there are several low-leveled goblins, and then there's also an ogre on that northern area. In the more middle part of that area are several hobgoblins. With all of these creatures, all you really have to do is hit them once and do some damage to them. And once the Zamorak creatures in this area finish killing them, then you still get the kill, and you did a lot less damage. So you can get your kill count very, very quickly if you do it right here. For the actual strategy of killing Bandos, you want to go in, use your special attacks, and that's basically it for strategy. You want to make sure that you keep your health at least above 600 or so, because it is very easy to get comboed very high between General Gridor's range attack and the mage and the other minions' normal attacks. You want to use your claw specials or whatever specials you have at the beginning of each kill. This way you might have it back by the beginning of the next kill, which is very helpful. I did shorten this trip up a little bit because I was worried about lag with recording, and if you do lag here and die, it can be very, very difficult to get back. It is physically possible, but it is also extremely difficult at the same time. The drops you can get from General Gridor include the Bandos Hilt, Bandos Boots, Bandos Tassets, and Bandos Body. The Bandos Boots are obviously the cheapest at a little over 100k. The Bandos Hilt's around 5 mil, I believe. The Body and the Tassets are 15 or so mil. From the minions, you can still get the Boots, Tassets, and Body. However, it is much more rare from the minions. If you are using overloads, then there is a method that I advise you drink your Ceradomin brews and super restores in. You want to drink a maximum of 3 Ceradomin brew doses for every 1 super restore dose you drink. if you only drink 1 dose of Ceridome Brew, then you actually do not need to restore. This is because your overload potion will boost you back up anyway, and 1 dose of Ceridome Brew does not actually bring you back below your normal level, so you do not actually need to restore back to your normal levels for your overload to boost you back up to your maximum. The final thing I'm going to talk about is the order to kill the minions in. First, you want to turn on Protect from Magic and kill the mage minion. This is because he's probably the most dangerous to you. After that, you want to go kill the range minion, once again praying Protect from range. After that, you want to kill the melee minion, praying Protect from melee. The reason you do this is because if General Gridor spawns while you're killing the melee minion, you already have Protect from melee on and you are safe from his attacks. This pretty much prevents you from getting KO'd very, very quickly during the trip. Thanks for watching. I hope it helped. This weekend I will probably not be making any videos as it is bonus XP weekend. However, next week, hopefully Ritual of the Majrat comes out. If it does, I will be making several videos on that, including any post-quest bosses that there are. So subscribe for those videos and more in the future, and please rate and comment this video.